What if I told you the computer you're using today was built on stolen ideas? Apple didn't invent the mouse, Microsoft didn't invent Windows, and even Firefox might have a twist in the story. This is the real story of how Bill Gates outsmarted Steve Jobs and stole the spotlight right in front of him. Let's uncover the tech world's most shocking betrayal. Long before Apple and Microsoft, there was a secret lab called Xerox PARC. Xerox was famous for making photocopiers, but at this hidden research center, some of the smartest engineers invented things the world wasn't ready for. The first computer mouse, a screen filled with windows and icons. The very first graphical user interface, or GUI. Powerful computers like the Xerox Alto. But Xerox didn't realize the gold mine they had. They thought, thoughtful, who would want a computer with a mouse? So they mostly ignored it. In 1979, Steve Jobs heard rumors about this lab. He wanted in. So Apple made Xerox a deal. Let us visit your lab, and in return, you can buy stock in Apple before it goes public. Xerox agreed. Steve Jobs walked into Xerox PARC and saw the Alto in action. He saw someone move a mouse to click on files, open windows, copy and paste. He was stunned, surprised. He later said, excited. It was like I had just seen the future. Jobs raced back to Apple and told his engineers, energetic, steal every good idea you saw at Xerox and make it better. That's how the Macintosh was born in 1984, the first computer for the public with a mouse, clickable interface, clean design, and personality. It was revolutionary and beautiful, but Steve didn't do it alone. Apple wasn't just Steve Jobs. Steve Wozniak was the genius engineer who built the Apple I and Apple II. Jobs wasn't a coder, but was a master marketer. He sold Apple computers not just as machines, but as lifestyle products. Together, Wozniak built it, Jobs sold it, and Apple was born. Steve invited a young tech guy named Bill Gates to help write software for the Mac. Gates saw what Steve Jobs was building. Gates acted friendly and supportive, but behind the scenes, he used his trust to study Apple's innovations closely. He had also heard about Xerox PARC. He knew about the mouse and Windows too. But Gates wasn't trying to build just one great computer. He had a bigger plan. Build software that could run on every computer in the world. So while Jobs was focused on building the perfect Mac, Bill Gates quietly created Microsoft Windows, using many of the same ideas. A mouse, windows and icons, click and drag. But the real twist? During a big Apple event, Steve Jobs was on stage. He was excited, passionate. But when the video started, it was just Bill Gates talking solo. And the message was completely changed. He said he was building the future. He had the vision. He was leading the revolution. The whole crowd clapped. For Bill Gates, they were impressed. Suddenly, Gates looked like the genius behind it all. Steve Jobs stood there, confused, humiliated. He realized, wait, this was supposed to show teamwork, but Bill made it all about himself. Gates had cut a deal that Microsoft would support Mac, but only if Apple used Microsoft Office. Steve was forced to agree in front of the whole world. The audience gasped, disappointed. Jobs looked defeated. Gates had stolen the spotlight and controlled the stage. But there was no Instagram, no YouTube Shorts, no tweets or reels. Steve couldn't instantly call it out. The media only showed what Gates wanted them to see. And soon, Gates started getting all the deals, all the partnerships, all the credit. By the time people found out the truth, Microsoft already ruled the market. Later, Gates didn't stop. He made sure Windows was the best for videos and games, using something called DirectX. While Apple focused on design, Gates focused on entertainment. This move made people choose Windows for fun, not just work. Years later, Microsoft ruled the internet with Internet Explorer. Then came Mozilla Firefox, fast, free, and open source. Some say Gates helped push Firefox quietly to stop Google from rising. Others say it was a true internet revolution. We may never know. Gates didn't just copy, he won. The Apple versus Microsoft war wasn't about who was smarter, it was about who understood the game of business. Steve Jobs wanted perfection. Bill Gates wanted power. Jobs trusted too much. Gates planned too far. That's how Gates became one of the richest men in history. So here's the truth in simple words. Xerox invented the mouse and GUI but missed the chance. Steve Jobs borrowed those ideas and built beautiful products. Bill Gates borrowed Jobs' ideas and sold them to the world. Steve Wozniak built the machines. Steve Jobs sold the dream. And Gates? He outplayed them all, especially by making Windows the hub for video and games. In technology, sometimes it's not about who invents the idea, but who owns it, sells it, and controls the future. Let us know what you think. Who was the real genius, Jobs or Gates? Tell us in the comments.